Good afternoon, my friends. This is the Grimflayer. Hope you're all doing very well today. And why? Why is there a bunch of red on your screen? Why is there a mountain from the Onslaught set? Why are there lightning bolts and seasoned pyromancers and Renin 6 and you name it? That's right. We are finally at long last playing some Jund on this channel. Now, people have been asking me for a long time, are you going to play Jund? What do you think about Jund? When will you play Jund? Assuming it's a foregone conclusion. Like, obviously, if you like green-black decks, you want to play Jund. So it's been a long time coming, and it's been something that's been on my radar for a while. And we have two people in particular that we really have to thank for making this happen. So number one is the confidant, the Patreon supporter, Sal Malacola, whose league this is in honor of. This is a donation league funded by Sal, so everybody show a little love to Sal in the comments below. And Sal has, he has submitted this list for a donation league for me to play. So just briefly, for those who don't know, all of my Patreon supporters, every dollar you donate to me accumulates. And once you've reached $50 lifetime donation, you are eligible for a donation league. I also do accept direct donations, so if you're not on Patreon at all and don't really want to be, but you want me to play a list of your choice through a league on this channel, you can shoot me a message and we'll set up a way to make that happen as well. Or you can do what our friend Sal did and kind of hybridize both. So Sal has been a Patreon supporter for a couple months, and he just shot me the rest of the money to make up the difference for this donation league, just to get it out there for you. Now, I was very excited to do this. I've been wanting to play Jund for a long time, and this is a great reason to. But I did run into one big hurdle, and that was the absolutely exorbitant cost, and an unforeseen cost, really, because I don't monitor the online prices too well of stuff that's not in directly my green-black shell, of specifically the Horizons Mythics, so that would be Seasoned Pyromancer and Renin 6. And I was about to start kind of asking around. There have been some people in the past, Patreon supporter Dan Galinas comes to mind, who have said, hey, if you need to borrow some cards, let me know. I was just about to start asking around, and another Patreon supporter, major shout out to Domenico Toscani here, actually messaged me and said, hey man, what do you think about Jund? Are you going to play it? And I was like, well, I'd like to, and I explained the situation. He's like, don't worry bro, I've got you. So we're borrowing 2 Pyros and 2 Renin 6s from Domenico. Thank you so much, my friend. Much, much appreciated, and that allowed things to really go off without a hitch. I picked up the rest of these cards for Sal's deck, and we're going to take a quick look at the deck, then we're going to get straight into a league. So the first thing to note is that this Jund deck is actually pretty similar to the one that came in the very top place of the recent MCQ. I just want everybody to know that Sal did submit this to me several days before that event took place. So clearly he's onto something with this list. I'm sure some other people have been playing similar lists as well, but a one with a similar take on Jund just did very, very well. And here are the things that Sal wanted me to share, are set up, gave me as his reasons for some of the choices at least, that I'll share with you. So he's playing 3 copies of this card, Seasoned Pyromancer. It goes some way to fixing the wrong half of the deck problem. You can pick, the traditional dead card that a mid-range deck has to run that's not always good in any given matchup. You can pitch those to make bodies draw something more relevant. Obviously, gas when you're Hellbent, very, very good off of Bloodbraid Elf. He can see playing only 2, but right now he's on 3. And speaking of only 2, we're down to 2 Bloodbraid as a nod to the Seasoned Pyromancer and also to the lowered land count of only 23 lands overall. Spellbomb in the main, those who have been watching my channel are familiar with this. It's a hedge against the graveyard-infested meta right now, very main deckable. Sal also would like to point out how wrong he was about Renin 6. He was skeptical about this card initially, but smooths out your mana, very important in a 3-colored mid-range deck. Very good against the X1s, buying back utility lands like Ghost Quarter out of the sideboard, Nurturing Peatland, so on and so forth. Notable omission here is Unearth. Sal is interested in the card, but is currently opting not to play it. Still enjoying the versatility of Kolagin's command and the raw power of the card as well. And also notably, we're down to 1 Lonely Collective Brutality. Not a very good setup against Burn, but we're hoping to kind of dodge that matchup, assuming it's not all that popular at the moment. And of course, the overall trade-off with Jund versus the green-black rock that you're used to seeing me play is that you get access to, some more 1-mana removal and or reach with Lightning Bolt, a quicker clock in general, a lot of really powerful 2-for-1s or X-for-1s that you just saw there, and some interesting sideboard technology, Anger of the Gods, Ancient Grudge, Rakdos Charm. I really like the structure of this deck. It's very techy, there's a lot of one-ofs. But of course this does come at a cost. The mana base has less utility and a lot more pain. So we'll see how it goes. And I think that's everything that we've got to say about the deck. So once again, thank you so much to Sal Malacola and to Domenico Toscani, the former for donating and making this league possible, and the latter for letting me borrow some of their really expensive cards. So here we go, playing some Jund in Modern. And we also have a couple of new Patreon supporters to thank. Well, one is new and one has upgraded. We're thanking Mark Kitchell, or Kitchell, however that is pronounced. Mark has joined us on Patreon as an Inquisitor, but he's donated a bit above the minimum threshold, so we'll call him a High Inquisitor. Welcome, Mark, and thank you so much for your support. We also have to thank Burrito Champion, who is a former Inquisitor who's upgraded to my brand new tier called the Unearthed. If you want to see why I made up a new tier, you can visit the Patreon page. I just posted a explanation today. And thank you, one and all Patreon supporters. I could not do it without you. And here we go. Here we are, round 1, game 1. Oh, here's something that I haven't said before. We've got to keep here, by the way. I have literally never played Jund competitively. When I first built into BGX about a year and a half ago, I extensively play-tested with friends, deciding whether I wanted to do Rock or Abzan or Jund. Long story short, I ended up going with Abzan and eventually falling in love with Rock. And it's a lot easier to cut a color than it is to bring a color back, so I have, no, and I do mean no, experience in competitive play with Jund. So please, let me have it. If I'm playing wrong, let me have it. I'm going to do my best. It's probably going to be kind of hilarious for you who are experienced Jund players, but I'm a little bit out of my element. Obviously, there are a lot of overlaps between Rock and Jund, but there's also a lot of differences, a lot of subtleties, and then maybe some things that are not so subtle. Unfortunately, we are against Hogaak Vine. The opponent just goes looting, pitching Vengevine into Hogaak, and then Insolent Neonate for a fresh draw, looking for something to really help them go off here. Here's the Carrion Feeder, buying back a Vengevine. They've only got 2 cards left in hand, but that is enough to unfortunately get the big guy out. So here's Modern for you. Well, we do have Assassin's Trophy for the Hogaak, and that's really our only play. So I'm not really sure when we should be doing it, when is optimal. I guess we'll just wait till attacks. I still don't have much experience, even on Iraq, against this Hogaak Vine deck, but it is, of course, the terror of Modern at the moment. So we're going to trophy the big dude. If they want, they can sack it with Carrion Feeder, or they can just get ramped, I guess. And that's the best we can do in this situation. We've got a lot of good value plays in hand. Yeah, they sack in a response, so we take 6. We're a turn away from the Bloodbraid Elf. We do have an Abrupt Decay. That's interesting, but it's probably just correct to play the Seasoned Pyromancer here to make a little bit of an army in a can and find, maybe dig to our one of Nile Spellbomb. So Yeah, let's go for that. Now, what to pitch is, of course, an interesting question. I think Kolagin's command is going to be one of them. Lightning Bolt does deal with Vengevine only temporarily. Yeah, I'm feeling woefully inexperienced here. So it's going to be the K command. We could get greedy and pitch the Peatland, but I don't think that's correct. We kind of need that 4th land, and we make more elementals if we don't. So, I guess either Decay or Bolts. Just pitch the Bolt. Decay can answer an altar if they get that. It's a more guaranteed way to deal with a Carrion Feeder before it gets too big for Bolts. I don't know. We draw some pretty poor cards at this stage. A Thoughtseize and a Blackcleave Cliffs are pretty horrendous. Opponent immediately sacking the Vengevine is a very bad sign that they've got more ways to go off, and of course to just buy it back here. And indeed they do. So this is not, a full nut draw or anything, simply because we did have Trophy for the Hogaak, but it's also not good either. Alright, so next turn we can decay this Carrion Feeder. So are we interested in... I think we're going to double block a Vengevine here. Take the hit from the other one. Of course, when we get to 5 mana, we can make some more elementals. Or we just got another Pyromancer here and now, huh? What's better? I actually kind of just like casting another Pyro here. Definitely pitching Thoughtseize and... Trying to rate the pain versus the redraw. I don't think we need the redraw. I'm going to pitch the Peatland here. Okay, Scooz is a good draw. Really makes me regret pitching the Peatland, actually. Kind of, anyway. Painful green is still green, I suppose. All these little things, guys, all these little decision points with regards to the mana, and especially a complex card like Seasoned Pyromancer, I'm just not going to be making them optimally. I'm just not, so... I really like people raking me over the coals with even minor decision points when I'm on my kind of home turf of rock. Here, you're just going to kind of see some noobish play, so that is what it is. You can still let me hear about it, though. Alright, here comes the Hogaak, a little bit ahead of our ability to Scooz it away. Nothing we could have done about that specifically, at least. Opponent's a little back and forth here. Alright. 8/8 trample seems pretty good. So, exiling this makes 2 more red elementals, not quite going to cut it. We might be at the stage where we just kind of have to Bloodbraid and hope we hit another trophy. I can pretty much believe that. Think we have 2 in the deck. Sure, we'll cast a Bob. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We do have 9 power. We can mob block the big guy, but it's a real shame that we ran into this deck right away. It's not a surprise, but it's still a shame. Bloodghast with haste, beautiful. Alright, so we might just be dead, but let's execute our blocks anyway. So we've got to put 8 power in front of Hogaak here. 5, 7, 8. Then what? So they can obviously just sack this thing to pump the carrion feeders. What if we block this carrion feeder to force them to sack something else if they want to? I don't know. I don't know how much this matters, so let's just go for it. There's a little bit of trample damage coming over here too, so maybe we're just dead. I think we're dead no matter what. If we had a bunch of green mana for Skoos, that might be a different story, but the mental overload is yeah, okay, here we go. It's going to be interesting here with me playing this deck. Yeah, that's exactly lethal. All right, maybe we had a different block, but again, you know, what are we really going to do after that? Probably not much against Carrion Feeder. A couple Carrion Feeders, a Bloodghast. So we've got a good variety of Grave Hate here. We've got Rakdos Charm, which is just kind of a one-shot exile. It also has other relevant modes. All of the modes could be relevant here, I suppose. Cage, Spellbomb. Anger of the Gods pretty good as well, for sure. I think I like Plague Engineer, and I don't know if I like Ancient Grudge. Obviously, Surgical is going to come in too. I don't know if we're supposed to bring in Grudge. You'll have to let me know. Obviously, that hits Altar, maybe not much else. So, and here's where things get a little bit different. Things get a little bit different than I'm used to. So, obviously, a truism that applies to Jund as well as Rock is that the Lilianas are pretty bad. They can come on out, and I think 2 Fatal Pushes are a fine cut as well. Otherwise. I mean, I'm unsure about Grudge. We do have Decay, Double Trophy, 6 discard spells as answers to the Altar, so maybe we don't want the Grudge. I don't think I'm going to go so far as to bring in Oof or Fulminator either, even though there are roles that those cards play. So if we had one cut to make, is Renin 6 kind of bad here? I think we want the versatility of Kolagin's Command. That's another out as well to the Altar. We could maybe cut a Bob, or maybe we just cut a Renin 6. With only 3 Bobs, I'm going to cut Renin 6. Again, this could be horribly wrong. My apologies. My apologies if it is. You know, this is part of the appeal, I suppose, of having me play a deck that's not my own. See me flounder a little bit, but okay. Is a turn 2 Skoos a keep against this deck? We've got a whole lot of graveyard hate in here. Maybe this should be a mulligan. I think it's got to be a mulligan. Alright, now we have Inquisition into Goyf, but with no graveyard hate. What now? It's a little scary to go down to 5. The opponent has mulligan, so maybe we'll just keep. Really wish I had that Skoos, I suppose. Yeah, we'll top that. Doesn't matter what we do, because we're pretty priced into the turn 1 Inquisition, I guess. Alright, so they've got literally all of the enablers. Literally all. They scryed top, so they probably have a payoff top. Pretty horrendous. Pretty horrendous. What do we do here? I guess Stitcher Supplier is seeming like the potential. It's redundant, but Or maybe we just take the looting. Alright, maybe they had to put a land at the top and we're just going to take the looting. But that's an extremely discard resilient hand. We would have been better off just keeping the 7 with the Skoos as far as I can tell. Thoughtseize. I don't think Thoughtseizing accomplishes all that much here. Let's just play a Goyf. Well, we might be off to a ignominious defeat here in round 1, my friends. This deck is just it's something, all right. Okay, they found a Hogaak Vine. That's probably what they scried at the top. They play the Supplier, Hogaak in the yard. I mean, they'll always just have it, I guess. They'll just always have it. So here comes the whole shebang. Yeah, maybe we either keep 7 or mull to 5. Who knows? There he is. I can't bring myself to trade off with a Hogaak Vine quite yet. Okay, 3rd land. Well, it's not as exciting as it looks because we're just pretty screwed, but I guess we're just going on the Pyro plan to try to stay alive until we can Bloodbraid into... I don't even know what our out is anymore. We kind of need a trophy for the Hogaak and an anger for the board. Yep. Well, we've seen some good progressions out of this deck. We've seen some coherent disruption into threats, into value plays. It's just unfortunate that we're against the absolute epitome of degeneracy here. Do we need double black for any real reason, or should I get Stomping Ground? Let's get the Stomping Ground. And we're just praying here. No, pretty bad stuff. Pretty bad finds off of the Spyro here. Well. What are you going to do? Let's play against some decks that won't get banned soon in the next rounds if we can. That'd be great. Alright, so we need to put our whole army in front of Hogaak to block it, and I guess that's just correct. We hope we draw an out off the top. We draw a Tarmogoyf. I mean, technically the game goes on, but yeah, whatever. I mean, we'll just play it out, right? They can obviously get this thing back next turn. That's the big issue. Or if the opponent... Okay. I was going to say, maybe we just scoop if the opponent's not going any quicker. Why not? We'll throw out the Bobby. We're just basically in pure need to get extremely lucky mode anyway. Might as well add the confidant roll of the dice to that. Okay, well, the best case scenario is that the only thing the opponent can do is replay the Hogaak and then potentially, just put more things together from there. Bridge from below, Bloodghast. Alright. I guess now we need Anger for the wide board and Trophy for the Hogaak, so I'm pretty cool to scoop here. Alright, pretty annoying matchup for round one, especially because I'm not the expert here. So let's not play that any longer, and let's see this deck really spread its wings. Now, obviously, that's a beatable matchup with our build here. We just had a questionable 7 and then a questionable 6. I think keeping discard into Goyf on the play is okay at 6 rather than going to 5. Not necessarily correct, especially because we don't really know how far the opponent's going to mulligan. Like, if the opponent keeps 7, maybe we just have to mull to 5 for harder Grave Hate, but they could have mulled even further as well. They didn't, though. They did not, and we got Hogaak Vine. We got Hogaak Vine. Feels pretty bad. Opponent keeping 7. We've got a really nice 7 as well. Assuming the opponent's on a deck where our disruption matters. Spire, Bluff, Canal, into Sleight of Hand. Safe to say our disruption does indeed matter. So we will begin with Inquisition. It's either Phoenix or Storm, and it is indeed Storm that kept a 1-lander. Think we're just taking the Mana Bear here because we want to be able to just play threats. And they might really need to stick a Mana Bear to beat us with that hand eventually anyway. So, like, even though we have an answer to 1, we might still be pressed into taking 1. Regardless, so I think I'm going for the Bob here with our very, very powerful hand that needs to curve out with its land drops. Okay, they just Grape Shot Bob on sight. Okay. We did hit our 3rd land, but it's not really what we wanted to see, so Renin 6 buying back a land is live. We could also just go Ravine into Tarmogoyf. Maybe we go for that, but the appeal, of course, to Renin 6 buying back a fetch land is it ensures a black land for Liliana next turn. Alright, opponent still hasn't hit a 3rd land. That's great news for us. So let's cast our Renin 6. Buy back a Bloodstained Mire. So we need black and green this turn. Overgrown Tomb. Technically correct to attack first, but I'm just going to take a couple mental shortcuts like that here because I'm not comfortable on the deck. Our position is obviously wonderful, though. No question about that. Alright, so attacking with Raging Ravine does not increase the clock. We're hitting for 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. With pinging with Ren, we almost have lethal. Or do we have lethal if we attack with the Ravine and then bolt and then ping? These are lines I'm not used to seeing. I think we do. Oh no, yeah. Activation cost is a little too high. Alright, let's just play Liliana. So we're going to buy back that Bloodstained Mire for a free pitch. Okay, Desperate Ritual. Into Baral. Sure. I don't know why I'm fetching first. Probably doesn't matter. So we bolt the Baral here. Do we bolt this Baral too? Yeah, I'm just gonna go for it. Like, they either go off right here or they don't at all. That might be wrong, but I'm just sure they either kill us here or they're dead. Oh, they found another Monomorphos right off this Monomorphos. Okay, scary, but... Okay, the storm count of 10. But is there anything left after all that? Past in Flames? They found Past in Flames? Oh no! Oh no. Holy moly. Unbelievable. Really unbelievable. I mean, we're just dead. The opponent just has it right now. They're continuing to go for some reason, so I guess we're gonna let them go just to, just to make sure. Goodness. All right. Nicely done, opponent. Nicely done. I didn't think we'd be anywhere near, and that's actually why I took the Mana Bear with that turn 1 Inquisition, because that was obviously key to them finding anything here. Yikes. Well, that was, I thought we were kind of coming back off the Hogaak Vine match with a bit of a free win there in game 1, but apparently not. Apparently not. So, are we interested in moving away from any kind of value pieces like this? I don't know how good Renin 6 really is either. Everything else in the deck looks fine, besides trophies and decays, actually. So we actually might have a fair amount to cut here. Don't even honestly know about, like, Bloodbraid Elf. Just a little slow, but probably better than most of the other things we've got here. Alright. Rakdos Charm seems playable. Spellbomb Cage are good. Surgical's good. Collective Brutality's good. Plague Engineer Naming Goblin seems okay. And I guess Anger of the Gods is also in for a similar role. So, again, not entirely certain about a lot of that, but if we're looking at those 8 potentials, we've got 9 cards we're not that thrilled about. Let's just bring them all in. Just bring them all in. I don't like the decays or the trophies really at all. Maybe a decay if they show me a... what's it called? Pyromancer's Ascension, but... so do we prefer Renin 6 or a Spyro? Or to cut something else altogether? I don't know. I got no idea. I'm going to cut the Spyros, but that could be wrong. Renin 6 is going to at least help us keep curving out with the lands. Who knows? Who knows? Certainly not me. Some people know. Some people out there probably know. Alright. Let's see if the Jund noob can pull out 2 post-side games here against Storm. We will play first. And we will keep. Wish we had a threat, but otherwise the hand is wonderful. Opponent's on a 1-lander. This time I don't think we're going to take the bear. I think we're going to take just that Serum Visions. The longer we can stymie their development, the more likely we are to just take over the game with Liliana. Alright, Fatal Push, sure. Okay, opponent on a one-lander is a pretty good sign for our Liliana plan here. I think I'm going to pitch Push, because we have Bolt and Edict to answer the Mana Bear that's in their hand if they do hit the second land. Okay, opponent gets rid of their Past in Flame, sure. Second land, there it is. Okay, Black Cleave Cliffs is a pretty free pitch. The opponent is indeed just sandbagging the Mana Bear. Probably the right call. Desperate Ritual. So their hand is Baral, Lightning Bolt, Pyretic Ritual, 2 unknown. Alright, I think we are playing and cracking the Peat land immediately. We can get rewarded for this with discard. Instead, it's just another land, but at least we got... we got a basically dead draw out of the way. Opponent's hitting the land drops. Okay, not ideal for us. So, is it at all correct to Lightning Bolt them? In case we... Nah, I don't think we're quite there yet. Just to be mana efficient, basically, is what I was thinking. Alright. Nile Spellbomb's a good draw. Just gonna crack it immediately, though, looking for more answers, more interaction, more threats. Or just more bad things to pitch, which we just got. So now we tick up. Could have ticked up first to get another card out of their graveyard, but kind of a minor consideration at this point. Ooh, I accidentally clicked off the Baral because I assumed he was coming down. Instead, they lead on Monomorphos. Into Serum Visions, okay. It feels like an Empty the Warrens for value, which is actually pretty bad, but maybe not. Maybe it was just a bit of a desperation dig. Alright. So, now I'm just going to bolt the opponent here. Because we're pretty clearly ticking up with Liliana no matter what. Okay, Tarmogoyf. And I guess I'm just going to Surgical Monomorphos. Don't know if that's correct, to be honest. But... Alright, opponent's hand is a Ritual, Bolt, Baral. Of course, we're going to take a nice close look at their deck, see exactly what they're up to. So, 2 copies of Aria of Flame. That's an interesting one. I'm not up on the Storm tech. I don't exactly know why that's in there, but it's definitely worth noting. I guess that's another reason for Abrupt Decay, rather like Pyromancer Ascension. 3 pieces and a Peer Through Depth, so a lot of the less common, you know, kind of value cards. 3 Empty the Warrens, 2 Grape Shot. Nothing else. Ooh, 1 Repeal. That's also a bit unusual. And 2 copies of a Braid. Okay. Yeah, we're ticking up one more time. They pitch their Bolt. Alright, so the opponent has stone cold nothing in hand in terms of, like, digs or payoffs, but they actually have the ability to go off if they find one. There's the Brawl. Let's hope they didn't find one. Oh no, really? Right off the top? Right off the top, a Gifts Ungiven. You know, with them having 2 rituals in hand, it was not correct to ultimate there, just in case on this exact turn they top deck that card. Right? I would say so. Because if we alter Liliana, we don't have an answer to the Brawl. They just play the Brawl on 2 land, and then they can go off anyway. Whereas this way we get a card out of their hand, we're keeping, you know, over 2 turns they can go off. This way we get a card out of their hand, we're keeping the Liliana around. We're just saying, yeah, just don't top deck your best card this turn, and of course that's exactly what they do. So, opponent's hand is... they've got the Pyretic Ritual in hand. So they can go Ritual into Aria of Flame or Grape Shot. They cannot go Ritual into Pieces of the Puzzle this turn, but Pieces of the Puzzle is like the best, like follow-up play, I guess. It's a tough call. And we don't want them to have Empty the Warrens, like, at all. Right now. It's just very good against Liliana. So, I guess I'm just binning the 2 kind of win conditions here. Ritual into Aria, yep. Okay, we draw a Raging Ravine, that's a threat. So we're going to take up, get that Pieces out of their hand. Baral coming across at the Liliana. Alright, we draw Thoughtseize. If we cast it, we cannot activate Raging Ravine. It's pretty bad to not activate Raging Ravine, to be honest. But I think we need to cast it. It's the safe thing to do. There's another Baral in hand. Alright, well. Sure. And as luck would have it, we do still have lethal on the field. Okay, there we go, there we go. Alright, so I got a little scared when they top decked that Gifts immediately after we declined to ult with Liliana, which was kind of it was a pretty severely punishing line, severely punishing us for our line, I should say. Am I supposed to care about that Aria of Flame card? I have not played Storm since that technology has been adopted. I don't really think so. Like, obviously, I understand it's an alternate win condition. I don't know. I don't really think so, but that could be incorrect. But looking at our deck, I think we still kind of want all of our CMC1 spells. Brutality, Bob, Ooze, Goyf, Rakdos, Charm are all good. The question remains over Renin 6, which I just don't see being much other than a way to keep buying back fetch lands, and obviously kind of a win condition of sorts, ultimately. So do we shave Ren for an Abrupt Decay just so we have another kill spell for the bears? We have an answer to Aria of Flame. Sure, I can believe that. I can talk myself into it. I don't know if it's correct, but I can talk myself into it. Talk myself into a lot of things, though. Not all of which are good for my well-being. Oh my god, what do we do here? The opponent keeping 7 and we have triple discard. On the draw, this might actually just be a keep even though it's a one-lander. Our hand, everything in our hand is great. I'm going to keep it. Really not making it easy for me, MTGO. Be kind, it's my first run out with Jund ever. You gotta give me, like, easier decisions, right? Not happening. Alright, well. Second land right off the top is good. We're looking real painful with our lands, but not much to be done about that, I suppose. Inquisition. Again with the one-lander for the opponent. They scryed top, so they very obviously have a second land on top. Therefore, we just take Baral. We're just going to try to rip their hand up. Take the Baral. Yep, there it is. Mountain Pass, so they're sitting on double opt here. We pick up Scavenging Ooze, that's an interesting one. But I actually think we're kind of priced into the double discard spell turn. At great cost to our life overall. Tricky decision points here. Because they're, of course, gated by mana, so taking Ritual is appealing. But we're going to Thoughtseize away the gifts. So maybe we just take an opt instead, and we'll Thoughtseize the gifts. Okay, opponent opted in response. They found a third land. Alright, so we take the gifts. They have nothing in hand. Just a third land and 2 rituals. But they rip a Serum Visions right off the top. Yeah, okay. Top with a Serum. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, we are in an interesting spot, yet again. Liliana's always good. But the fact that they topped makes me a little bit nervous. Makes me think maybe we should be playing Nile Spellbomb instead. Third land is a nice draw. So we can get Forest here, and I think we're going to take the hedged line of playing a threat and playing the Spellbomb, and we can cash in the Spellbomb if they just are otherwise able to go off for no value. We can cash it in. It's never ideal, but I think that's better than Liliana there, but it's a really tricky spot. Okay, Pieces of the Puzzle. Revealing Empty, Peer Through Depths, a land, and Monomorphose. Oh, that's some stuff. So Peer is in the graveyard. Okay. Alright, Confidant. What's up, buddy? What's up? A Wooded Foothills is what's up. Cool. I like that just fine. So their hand again is, I mean, they can just go on a big Empty the Warrens plan next turn. So I feel like we kind of want to dig for a Thoughtseize right now. There's enough value in the graveyard that I feel pretty good about the Nile Spellbomb here. Okay, Lightning Bolt. Not what we were after. So we're going to attack with the Bobbin. We're just going to get a card out of their hand with Liliana, I guess. But, like, paying 4 life to do that is pretty horrendous. But I think we've got to, think we've just kind of got to. It's possible that my fetching in previous turns could have been more optimized to make this less painful right here, right now. I don't know. In any case, this also kind of prices them into going all out on the empty right now, which admittedly I think they would have anyway, but gives us a shot to stabilize against a moderate board of goblins between Skoos and Bolt and even Edicting if we have to. Problem is we've taken so much damage already this game, it's tricky. This has been close. This has been close. And, oh, pieces of the puzzle. Holy moly. The value is real, but they only get Empty the Warrens and Sleight of Hand off of it. I say only, those are some pretty good ones. Then they go Sleight of Hand. That Monomorphos is in the bin now as well. And Bob's flips continue to be pretty painless, so that's nice. Okay, and we've drawn Surgical as well. So this mountain doesn't really help us get anywhere immediately. Like, in theory, it can help crack Peatland and we can find some more stuff, but I think I'm just going to pitch it. Opponent loses a Steam Vent, so their hand is Ritual, Empty, Empty. Alright. We can Surgical Rituals. Is that any good? I think it kind of is. See if there are any changes to the deck. Okay, nothing really. And I guess I'm gonna go Shields down with my Lightning Bolt this turn. Unfortunately, we have no creatures to eat with the Skoos, so it's not even a way to stabilize our life total. Okay, opponent will empty the Warrens. You got it. Bob is continuing to be remarkably painless. I'm gonna crack a Peatland here. For a Plague Engineer, nice draw. Nice draw. Beautiful. Oh my god. For those who have been watching my rock videos, this guy's like my new favorite card. And this is why. He just prompts the scoop. Alright, my friends, I'm like 10 minutes behind the opponent on the clock. We kind of muddled our way through that one. I think the play was okay, but obviously could have been slicker. Probably could have been better in spots, but look, we did it! We did it! Alright, Plague Man bailing us out. And admittedly, our position was interesting there. I think we were in actually a pretty okay spot before the Plague Man arrived, but he just slammed the door on that matchup. Alright, so we struggled out a win against Storm. I gotta tell you, I'm having fun, even though it's not easy. It's not easy to make these decisions when you have never played Jund competitively, and have also never played it at all in like the last year and a half. I did get a couple quick tournament practice lobby games in last night after I borrowed Domenico's cards, but certainly no substitute for the real thing. Our hand is fine. It's a fine keep. No hand disruption is kind of the only complaint I have. But if we're against the graveyard decks, we've got Spellbomb. If we're against a fair deck, we have some good value. Looks like we're against Black-White Eldrazi and Taxes with a turn 1 Giver of Runes. And we rip the hand disruption right off the top. And I also think we should fetch now in case Leonin Arbiter is going to make an appearance. And we can pretty cleanly get a swamp here, I guess. I do respect their ability to aggro us out here. Wasteland Strangler and a whole lot of nothing. They've got some good utility lands, but yeah. Basically nothing as of yet. So that was a really nice discard spell off the top. And we draw Tarmogoyf, eh? Okay. I'm bad. I can't play a Wrenn and 6 this turn because I got a swamp. I don't think we would have anyway, but that was probably incorrect to not leave myself that option. Learn from me. Learn from me, what can I say? Either way, I think Tarmogoyf is the play there regardless. And we've got the Spyro ready for next turn. Probably looking like Spellbomb is a pretty fine pick here. It's going to grow the Goyfs, and even though it's a redraw, it's kind of an inefficient one. So, Jund. We're Junding them out with Wrenn and 6 and the old Pyromancer, huh? Giver of Runes seeing a lot of play in Modern right out of the gates here. Unsurprisingly, pretty good card, pretty cool card. I'm a fan. I know a lot of people are not the most thrilled about them making kind of modern rip-offs, if you will, of legacy staples, but if nothing else, it's a clear statement of intent moving forward. So we will no longer be speculating about cards like Force of Will and Sylvan Library and things like that coming directly to Modern. Like, they're clearly demarcating Modern from Legacy, and they're clearly going to adopt like a never the twain shall meet approach. So I don't mind them doing stuff like Giver of Runes. I think it's pretty cool. I think overall they did a pretty good job of balancing the cards. Another Wrenn and 6 is not the greatest. I guess we'll pitch one of those to the Pyro, though. So that's going to grow our Goyf. Guess that means we do it main phase, right? Goyf is getting huge off of this this effect here. Pitch a Wrenn, pitch a Spellbomb. Become a 5/6, make 2 elementals, leave behind a 2/2 body. Seems alright. Seems alright. And we drew Fatal Push and Kolaghan's Command. A couple of pretty good cards. I had a feeling they had a Path to Exile. That's annoying, but fine. We'll get a Forest, and now we have 2 of every color. They cash in their Silent Clearing, and they will pass. Play out the Swamp. Tide Hollow Sculler. Well, good card, but it's gonna... Well, Giver of Runes can protect it. That's a nice combination. There goes Tarmogoyf. Alright. I don't think we're going to use the command quite yet. We don't have anything to buy back, and they clearly are kind of flooded, so discard mode is not great. Let's just push the Giver here. We're going to give the Sculler protection in response. Protection from black. Okay. So we can actually attack pretty freely. We can ping the Sculler if they take a block. They do not, so we will just have to play the Wrenn. Buy back a land, play it, and pass. That's going to do it. Alright, opponents clearly flooded out. Our discard crippled them. Wasteland Strangler puts in a lot of mileage for the deck, but They kept a Gaslight hand. We ripped Inquisition turn 1 on the draw, and that was pretty deterministic from there. So, against Eldrazi and taxes, we've got a lot of stuff that kind of does some stuff, but is going to miss out on their big goons, like Thought Knot Seer. So I don't know if we want all three of Engineer, Brutality, and Anger, kind of the -X or the damage-based effects. I don't know. Ancient Grudge is interesting. I'm not used to playing with this card, so I'm not sure whether we bring it in edge cases like this. But it can hit Ether Vial. It can also hit Tide Hollow Sculler. They might also play like a Smuggler's Copter or something, so I guess I'm going to try that. Liliana the Last Hope is another -X effect. I mean, they've got a greedy land base, but I don't know if we want to bring in Ghost Quarter because of that. Again, I just don't know. So, let's look at what we don't need. We don't need the Spell Bomb. I don't mind trimming a little bit of discard action here. It's kind of a grindy mid-range matchup for all intents and purposes. We can cut... maybe we don't even cut a Lily on the draw. She's just awesome against the non-Blade Splicer variants. We'll still cut one on the draw, because I'm just not sure what else to do for all these cards. Let's just trim a Seasoned Pyromancer. Seems fine, but also seems fine to cut it. And maybe we pare down on at least one discard spell. Is there anything else we don't need? How good is Renin 6? Probably good enough to leave both in. Yeah, I'm going to cut 2 Inquisitions. We'll see how that goes. Or do we cut a land, actually, because we're on the draw? Problem is, I have no idea what land to cut in this deck. I guess it would just be a fetch land. Alright, let's try cutting a land because we're on the draw. Seems fine. And we'll cut a fetch land in case they are on Leonin Arbiter shenanigans. Odds are something about that was incorrect, but at least we're giving rationale for every decision, right? We've got no green, but it's Fatal Push into Liliana, and the hand is otherwise functional. Sure. And the land we cut was a green, a source that gets green, and we draw a green card. Yikes. Well, it's alright. We'll get there. Eldrazi Temple into Caves of Kolios. Eldrazi Displacer. Okay. We draw another non-green land. Oh boy. Well. I mean, we push something here. We can then Edict with Liliana, maybe. Okay, they're vialing in a 1-drop. Giver of Runes. Yeah, you know, I'm just going to push that. Between the Eldrazi Blink and the Giver Protection, it's just making our spot removal a nightmare anyway, so sure. Alright, smashing us for 3. Followed by a Flicker Wisp. Blinking Caves. Interesting, so this is kind of telegraphing that they have a path to exile. Okay, we did get a green land. I guess I kind of like using it now. There is a tension, though, between getting a forest and then we just only have one basic left in the deck, and they obviously have path. and shocking against a deck where we're behind on the board. But I think I'm going to use it. I think we're just going to go get our forest and say, you know, you tax us out of our basics, you tax us out of our basics, right? And I'm pretty happy to just edict away something here. It's just extending the game. Might have something to violin here on too, and that would be a pretty perfect curve out for them if so. Okay, no, just the Flicker Wisp. So getting a 3-power attacker out of the way is fine, but admittedly Wrenn and 6 could have pinged that too. But I like being mana efficient here. And yeah, there goes Liliana, so she's gained us a bunch of life. Opponent's got another Vial. Not looking like a terribly large amount of things to do. Okay. We cannot Goyf and Trophy unless we also fetch and shock, which is, I guess, fine. And I think we're going to kind of want to let them make the first move here with their Vial. So we'll say go, but I think in the upkeep, we're going to... They didn't have anything to violin on the end step, so I think in the upkeep before they draw, we're going to try to trophy away the Displacer. It's a bit of a disaster if they have a Flicker Wisp, but at least that's something that we can just ping with Wrenn and 6 if they do. Okay, they got Fatal Push, sure. That's fine. I mean, it's not great, but it's fine. Okay, Lightning Bolt's a good draw. Guess we're just buying back a Catacombs. Opponent leaving their things at 3 and 2 makes sense because they have more than enough mana to hardcast like a Thought-Knot Seer. Ooh, they're just flooded though, aren't they? Alright, I guess we keep just developing our mana, thinning out the deck. I guess we're getting all the green sources we can at this point. Thoughtseize, I'm just not going to cast it. We just clearly won't hit anything. All right. This card's ultimate, you get an emblem with instants and sorceries in your graveyard have retrace. Huh? Well, I mean, that could obviously be pretty good if we get there. Inquisition. Alright, now that they have 2 cards in hand and now that this is painless, maybe I do like casting an Inquisition, so sure, let's go for it. We could maybe draw out something on our own terms favorably, if nothing else, or maybe there's just removal rotting in hand. Yep, 1 Vial activation at least. For an Arbiter, okay. And then we take another Aether Vial, sure. Yep, I'm just going to bolt this Arbiter. Keep the value train rolling, my friends. And we're going to sandbag these basics for retrace if we do end up getting there. Alright, last shock land is out of the deck. We'll leave the swamp. But we can still buy back lands with Wrenn and 6 because that's good with That's good for retrace. Scooz is a nice draw. We could spot check them for path here, but I don't really like that. Is that the concession? It sure is. Oh. Opponent shows me the lands. Unlucky. GG's well played. Yeah, they really did flood out both games. No question about it. Alright, my friends. The Jund Noob. Look, we're getting better every round. It's 0-2, then 2-1, then 2-0. That means that in round 4, we're going to win game 1 and the opponent's just going to leave. So we're going to win 1-0. And then in game 5, they're just going to scoop immediately, right? That's just how it's going to go. Because trends only ever go one way. They can never reverse. Either way, I'm pumped we got a couple wins. Despite my, no doubt, suboptimal play, but I'm having a lot of fun. This is a really cool treat, so hope you guys are enjoying it too. And here we are moving into round 4. With my client a little bit behind the times here. There we go. Opponent will mulligan. We've got to keep. The MTG Zealot is our opponent's name. Alrighty then. So, we kind of hope the opponent's playing to the board with a hand like this. Misty Rainforest pass. Yeah, who knows? Could be. We're going to find out, though. Alright. This is where my inexperience comes in. What is the best land to get here? We need double black. I guess we're going to get Blood Crypt here. We're going to take 5 all day to go Fetch Shock Thoughtseize. And it is the Counters Company deck. Why didn't they play a turn 1 Utopia Sprawl? Am I missing something about that? I think we're just attacking their mana base here because we have lots of removal in hand. Teferi's annoying. It's the thing we can't easily answer, but they need to hit a couple lands running to make him live. Alright, so it's Devoted Druid combo. I think I said Counters Company or something. That's going to be a old habit that dies hard. But, ooh, okay. They got their second land. That's nice. That's really nice for the opponent. Utopia Sprawl. They name white, they can make Vizier. I still think we're going to decay the Sprawl if that's the case. See what else we draw. If we had drawn discard, maybe we go push discard, but ugh. Yeah, let's just decay. Third land is nice. Gotta hope the opponent bricks on lands again. If they do, we're in a pretty strong position despite taking a ton of damage so far. Alright, Seasoned Pyro is a good threat to eventually take this game over. But we're just gonna play a Liliana here. And I guess we get Mountain. Again, my fetching was probably incorrect here. But I'm done taking all the damage in the known universe, so I'm just getting a basic. Alright. So what's our sequencing like here? Do we go Pyro first? Probably. We go Pyro first, pitching Pyro Liliana, I guess. These removal spells are just too important. And then we decide what to tick up. What to pitch when we tick up. This gives the opponent more information this way, but... Alright, so we have an Overgrown Tomb. That's fine. Would we rather have that or the Skoos? I think we're gonna pitch the land. Maybe it's a little greedy, I don't know. Let's see. It's not like we have a terribly high mana curve in hand anyway. The things that we absolutely have to cast are cheap, so that works to our favor with the pitch of a ETB tapped land, or a painful land, however you look at it. Alright. So we could tick up and get more cards out of their hand with Liliana, but I don't want to pitch anything in my hand, so I'm just going to Edict. I think that's a pretty safe thing to do at this stage of the game. Lets us develop our board more with the Skoos, and lets us attack freely. Kinda had a free attack anyway, but now it's literally a free attack. Yeah, obviously it would be nice to have double green here. Again, I'm sure my fetching could have been improved somewhere along the line here. Okay, opponent now has Teferi active, but do we care at this stage? Maybe, maybe not. Okay, so this does notably make us have to main phase everything. Liliana the Veil, okay. 2, 3, 4. Do we just have lethal? I'm so not used to seeing lethal like this. Yep. Feels good. The reach. The reach is real. I mean, we were never really going to lose that from there anyway, but that's so unintuitive for me. That's the biggest difference between Jund and Rock. I'm just, like, likely to overlook lines like that. Fortunately, I didn't there, but again, we would have got there either way. Cool. Cool. Nice curve out from us. Really, really nice curve out. So, Anger of the Gods seems really good. Liliana, Plague Engineer, Collective Brutality. These are all lovely additions to the deck. Yeah, it's possible that they get down on some graveyard effects that Nile Spellbomb might be a good enough value play against, but I don't think we need it. I also don't think we need Rakdos Charm, so looks like our main deck is pretty well configured here anyway. Let's just do some conservative sideboarding. We've got 4 cards to bring in. I guess I'm maybe cutting the Spellbomb till we see otherwise. Now, was there anything that we really didn't want to see? Again, I just kind of wonder if we can, like, trim a Seasoned Pyromancer. We are bringing in a lot of 3-drops, so I actually kind of like that. We could trim a Pyro, we could maybe even trim a Lily on the draw. Because we did bring in, like, a 2-drop and 3 3-drops, so I guess we have to take from the top of the curve here. And maybe, just maybe, we even cut another Pyromancer. Like, maybe everything in the 1 and 2 slot is better. Or we could cut a Bloodbraid Elf, but I'm gonna go like this. I guess Pyro, like, solving the wrong half of the deck problem is really good, and being, like, a value piece is really good, but neither of those are roles are that necessary here, as far as I can tell. Like, we could cut discard, too. I actually like to cut discard to shave it, I guess, on the Rock. Didn't necessarily feel as good to do that here, but maybe I should have. We've got a fine hand, it's a keep. Only issue is a little clunk in the mana base, but what else is new with BGX, am I right? Okay, Collective Brutality, good draw. We'll get a Blood Crypt here. Alright, opponent, what's in your hand? Devoted Druid, Finale of Devastation, Path to Exile. Okay, well, I don't like taking the path because we're not going to play a creature necessarily anytime soon. And that can just kind of rot in their hand. Maybe we just take the Finale. We're going to push Devoted Druid or Bolt it or Brutality it. Yeah, we'll take the Finale. And they also have Karn the Great Creator in hand, but there's absolutely nothing we can do about that. That's an annoying one, but hopefully we slow them down enough to the point where we're taking over the game by then. Devoted Druid it is. Alright, we got Stomping Ground. That's cool. So we can actually just Brutality and take away the path. Only problem is our hand is awesome. The clear pitch in that case would be Liliana, because it's our highest curve one, and because we don't have double black. But Liliana is very, very good here, not to state the obvious. However, I still think I am supposed to Brutality here to get that path out of their hand this turn. Seems like a pretty fine window to do so. And then we have the Bob down to at least attack Karn, and to draw us into more action. Alright. Kill your thing, look at your hand. I guess it's Liliana. Feels bad. But I don't see a real better option. Okay, they have a second Karn in hand. Sure. Oh, this card. Oh, they're fetching with the Windswept Heath. What did they find? A 3-drop. Is this Eternal Witness? It's Teferi. Oh man, it's the Teferi. That's pretty annoying. It's actually really annoying with the... Yeah, I just despise that card. Just despise that Teferi. Alright. And now we're punished because we top-decked a Black Cleave Cliffs. We're punished for pitching the Lily. Maybe I should have played the Cliffs there even though Teferi shuts off our instant speed action just to have double black next turn. That might have been a mistake. Either way, they're getting to do the Karn thing, which is just like, yeah... Cool. It's cool. War of the Spark, what did you do to the beautiful modern format? We don't have that many direct outs to Planeswalkers. Obviously, we can bolt one of them here. I guess it should be the Teferi, because there's a duplicate Karn in hand. Yeah, we can, like, our floor for next turn is just bolt, Bob, tapped land, pass. We do have the Raging Ravine to attack these Karns off the field at some point. Let's just see what they get. All right, we'll see what they get. EE, yeah, that makes sense. Wow, and we draw Tarmogoyf right on time. All right, I think that's the play. I think we're gonna bolt Teferi, play the Bob. You know what? Or we could bolt the Karn, play the Bob, and then they just get one less Karn activation. They're kind of priced into the EE next turn. Teferi continues to be very annoying that way, though. But... Huh. I don't want them to just keep tutoring artifacts. I don't know what else they could have. They probably have Ensnaring Bridge. They probably have, obviously, Mycosynth Lattice. So I don't know what's correct. I'm gonna bolt the Karn. Feels very bad on a value axis, but alright, so now they at least have to choose between playing Karn and EEing my Bob this turn. And, you know, we kind of want to draw an untapped land for Raging Ravine, frankly. Sometime very soon, I would imagine. Interesting to kind of game out how this, at least think about how this game would be going if we had kept our Liliana. Of course, we couldn't know we would draw the second Blackcleave Cliffs. Generally speaking, Bolt, Push are very high value cards against this deck. Obviously, we're not trying to pitch our land either, for sure. So, yeah, okay, the EE is the call that they make, as expected. Totally as expected. And we draw land. Not a tapped land. Not an untapped land, rather, but it's at least going to get us there next turn, so sure. They can cash into Teferi to draw a card and bounce the Goyf. And that will be interesting if they do that. Then they play like Karn into Creature. It turns our Fatal Push back on, even with a Revolt, if that's relevant. Okay, the bounce. Oath of Nissa. Alright. Look at the top three, revealing creature, land, or planeswalker. Eternal Witness. Yeah, that's good. Target card from your graveyard to your hand, so they can buy back Teferi, they can buy back EE, they can buy back, Path, Finale. They can get another Karn, so we have to fight through 3 Karns all together. However, we do have Raging Ravine, and that's pretty big game. So we're gonna see. Okay, they go Utopia Sprawl. Sure. Is that's what they haven't? Yeah, sorry. Okay, that was in their hand too. Karn the Great Creator. Yep. Okay, so they're just kind of accumulating card advantage here. They obviously see that Raging Ravine is live against them, but makes our turn a lot clunkier, that's for sure. And yeah, we've just got to attack the Karn. I really managed not to tap red there. Noob detected. Opponent just passes back. Wow. Alright. I don't know what to make of that, I really don't. So I think we're going to play a Liliana and tick her up, pitching this fetch land. And play the Goyf and just have Fatal Push still in hand. I don't know if I'm missing something here. Mycosynth Lattice goes by the wayside. Okay, here's our Goyf. Opponent can go, Eternal Witness, buy back the EE to answer that, but it's a Teferi. Another Teferi. I'm beginning to dislike the sight of Mr. Teferi, I'm not gonna lie. It's just in too many decks. You gotta be really careful about printing these 3-mana planeswalkers that draw cards. Like, everything else is cool, but why does it draw a card? Why do they always have the floor of draw a card when they're in blue? Okay, rant over. Rant over. Okay, interesting decision here for the opponent. So I guess we don't know anything in their hand, if I'm not mistaken. The opponents managed to keep their resources really flush, so there's that. Buying back Devoted Druid. Okay. You got it. Wooded Foothills. Alright, well, we can totally empty out our hand and then tick Liliana up, so I guess that is the play here, right? What do we need? I guess just another green land is fine. Obviously, losing the push there doesn't feel great, but we're just losing it either way, unless we choose to Edict with the Liliana, but I think I like this line better with Tarmogoyf and Raging Ravine both on the field. Another Teferi. Another Teferi. Okay, the deck's playing 3 Teferis, if not the full 4, because why not? Super interesting game here, though. Don't let my ranting fool you into thinking that this is, you know, this is just a non-game. This is a really interesting game. Some cool Mirrodin forests. Don't see those every day. Still don't really know what the opponent could have in hand. We know they have Devoted Druid. I guess that's the only one we know about, unless I've missed the tracking of something here along the way. What is this? Ugin! Oh my god. War of the Spark, get out of here. Ban the set War of the Spark. Alright. So, we draw Assassin's Trophy. It's a pretty good one. A very good one. But sadly, our mana is just a little bit too clunky to make this turn perfect. But let's think here. I mean, I guess technically attacking with Raging Ravine, then just losing our own trophy is better because we don't give them a basic land. And we're destroying a Planeswalker either way. Also get another counter on the Ravine. We're going to get rid of the Ugin. That's the direct card advantage in the upcoming turn. And it's a real question as to whether we pitch our trophy to Liliana or not. Oh, goodness. Obviously, threatening the ult is big game. But Trophy's so good. Like, Trophy just kills Teferi next turn even if they don't do anything else. I'm going to just not use Liliana. Oh, that's so loose seeming, but I mean, opponent's got to be really wondering what we've got in hand that we didn't tick Lily up there. Lightning Bolt adds such a good dimension to the deck. Imagine if that was just a bolt, we just took care of both Planeswalkers and then ticked Lily up. But this turn we get to obviously Edict and Trophy plus whatever's on the top. Utopia Sprawl, yep. I don't think I care about that, but they just keep showing me so many high curve cards that maybe I do. Maybe I do. Oh wow, they've just got Utopia Sprawls in hand. Alright, I'm officially glad I did not take up. Those were pretty free pitches for them, so they've got Devoted Druid plus 1 unknown. Tarmogoyf, sweet. Alright. Trophy your Teferi, play the Goyf, tick up. Then hopefully finally get to start attacking them in earnest. All right. Devoted Druid. Okay. So opponent has 1 unknown in hand and basically empty board despite all of the permanents over there. The board is just basically empty besides mana, obviously. And we've got a Liliana about to ult, but I don't believe we would be likely to actually ult her next turn unless something unforeseen happens. Oh, what is this on the end step? For 6 mana? Is this a Chord of Calling? My goodness. This is a sorcery, Finale of Devastation. I know Eladamri's called... What? Oh, yeah, sure. The Teferi ability is still active this turn. The restriction on our timing is a static ability that goes away when he does, but his ability... Ooh, Shalai, Voice of Plenty. Okay, so... Shalai's giving everything else hexproof. They can also, if they draw dead this turn, just sink mana into her. Put a counter on, hit Lily down to 2, force us to trade Lily away. Oh, they rip a Dork too. That's actually pretty bad, because now they can do the same thing. But, I mean, okay, Verdant Catacombs, huh? Yep, we're definitely still edicting. I mean, either way, we get a... Oh, the opponent's hexproof. Duh, never mind. Cancel that. Alright, we just got a race. Hope they don't top deck the combo. So we'll tick up. We will activate. Alright, opponent's down to 3. They're in bolt range. Not that we need a bolt with our board, but sure, they're gonna get some counters on their stuff on the end step. Again, I think it would have been correct to just do that main phase to hit our Lily down a little further, but suppose that doesn't matter. Alright, opponent's got a top deck. Either the combo or a way to stay alive. Oath of Nissa is gonna dig 3 deep. It's also going to grow the Goyf by forcing them to sack. That's infinite mana? Are you kidding me? They found the combo. Come on. Come on. That's insane. So their last card in hand was Finale of Devastation. They go get Shalai. Then that's basically one potential combo piece / value piece that lines up well against Liliana. Then they literally top deck the other 2 combo pieces in the last 2 turns. Alright. I mean, we are close enough on time that I guess we just basically make them play it out. Oh boy, that's so annoying. And they're at 3-2. Are you kidding? I mean, don't get me wrong, again, what a good game. But, Holy moly. Holy moly. Was that ever a tilt? Oh boy. Well, they're, like I said, they're not making it easy on us, guys. You know, you could give the Jund player, who's brand new to the deck, you know, you could not top deck the 3 outs back to back to back. Admittedly, maybe Finale was not a top deck. They probably sit on that for a little while, but still. Well, you're seeing some good games here. You're not maybe seeing as good of gameplay as you're used to on this channel, because I'm just no expert on Jund, but you're seeing some good games. Yeah, I don't know if this makes me a jerk to make them play it out, but like the time is relevant. You know, they're making they're taking the game to a certain dimension, let's say, with Teferis and Ugins and Karns. So, you know, you want to combo off? Go ahead and combo off, I guess. Oh, man. I'm actually just going to get up for a moment while they do this. Maybe I'll edit this out. Be right back. We have returned, and maybe I'll just scoop it up now. We've gotten our couple minutes ahead on the clock. Yep, we're close enough. All right. I mean, yeah, good game. Good game, well played. And let's go on to Game 3. So we saw all of the Planeswalkers. Does that change much? I still don't think we're supposed to really bring in Fulminator Mage. Ancient Grudge against the Karn stuff is interesting, but I have no idea if that's correct or not, because we're just at risk of losing to the combo itself, perhaps more than anything Karn is up to. So I don't know. I'm going to err on the side of caution and say no, because I don't know, but could definitely be incorrect. Let's just curve out on them and just cripple them and end this one quickly, though, so we don't even have to worry about the Karn. Let's try for that. Man, oh man, I cannot believe that we just got that game stolen from under us, but hand looks great to me. We're going to keep. Only problem is we cannot cast Renin 6 on turn 2 with a swamp, but other than that, I see nothing to complain about with this hand. Opponent mulligan to 6 and scry to the bottom. They go Utopia Sprawl, sure. Bloodbraid Elf. Man, I wish we could play Renin 6 and just buy back a land. I think we need to save Collective Brutality for a kill spell, so we'll just do the proactive thing, play our Grizzly Bears that can grow if we ever keep curving out with our lands, can grow pretty nicely and can disrupt a couple of their mechanics. We saw Eternal Witness at least, and you know, I guess Finale of Devastation, or whatever it's called, Promise searches the graveyard, right? So, okay, let's draw a land for Renin 6 and just ping that thing, if we can. We did. Alright, we can even hold up Fatal Push this way, too. Nice. Alright. So this is nice. That was really nice, because now we can ping their 1-drops all day. We can buy back a land for Bloodbraid Elf. And just the 4th mana in general. Renin 6, really nice. Especially on the play. Even a turn late. Arguably better a turn late, because it lets us be proactive with the creature, and it let them play a 2-drop right out into it when they otherwise might not have. Devoted Druid, sure. And a white mana floating. Do they have Path, or Giver, or nothing? Alright, I just like being mana efficient here. We're going to Fatal Push. Then we're going to tick up, buy back a land, and I think just Bloodbraid Elf. Alright, so we have double black, we have double green. Do we just get Mountain here? No, we probably fetch and Shock. Because we do have a Scooz on the field. Then again, we can't get another Stomping Ground. I don't know what's correct. Let's see what we have. We could get red-black. We don't really need another black, though. I'm just going to get Mountain. Might be wrong. Alright, Bloodbraid. Nice roll of the dice here. Inquisition, yep. Don't mind if I do. Vizier into Teferi. Pretty easy Teferi. They have double Karn in hand as well. Karn's not looking that hot at the moment. Obviously they hit a land and they can play him, but they've got some problems. That's it. Alright, hey, did I call it or did I call it? I said we're going to curve out nicely. We're just going to end the game quickly. That's what happened. Guys, we cashed the league! Yay! I didn't punt your league away, Sal. I did not punt your league away. We cashed the league, guys, and we're playing for the 4-1. Let's get it. Let's get the 4-1. This is exciting. Jund, huh? Jund is feeling pretty sweet. We have not seen some of the archetypes that Rock's mana base excels against over Jund. We haven't seen Tron. We haven't seen Amulet. We have not seen Burn. Things like that, or like the red deck wins archetypes in general. But Jund's strengths are certainly on full display here. So far, the only thing we've gotten taken down by is the deck that's going to get banned. So, feels good. And we're on the play here in round 5 with the traditional Jund curve out. Love it. Keep it. We're going to take a lot of damage, though, so hopefully we're not against Burn. Thoughtseize you. Okay, it is, I guess, Izzet Phoenix? Double looting Thing in the Ice. Surgical Extraction, Aria of Flame. I don't know what the take is here, honestly, because I guess it's just Thing. Obviously, we have Liliana Edict for the Thing, but Liliana Tick Up is probably just even better. So, don't want to take a looting when they have 2. I don't know if I should be caring about that Aria of Flame. That's the only other consideration here. Just going to take the Thing. They've got more things where that came from. If they rip a second one and we cannot answer it, I will deeply regret my life choices. All right. Dark Confidant. You know, we actually don't have Liliana on curve either way. I'll be honest, I didn't notice that because I'm so used to playing a 2-color deck, so I'm really glad I took the Thing. We'd be chilling without a way to remove it right now if I didn't. Unless we could bluff them into blocking with a Bob and then bolt it. Alright, so now we kind of need to draw a second black land as well as maybe some other things, but, you know, Confidant on the field. We've got every chance to do so. And I'm just worried about the opponent basically going on a heavy Phoenix progression with those double lootings. That's the only thing that really worries me. If they're on a more traditional value plan than that, like if they're going on a Thing in the Ice plan or whatever, then it's not as scary. Alright, they did get one Phoenix back, but nothing else to do this turn, so fine with me. Bob will flip a land, and we've just got lightning bolts, but we can cast Liliana, so that's cool. Alright. I think I just get Swamp here, despite me wanting a second Tomb for Skoos at some point. We do have a lot of green lands in hand, even though we're going to pitch Stomping Ground right now. And we're surgical proof as well. It's important to kind of try to maintain that, so like if they just end up wanting to fire off surgical for value before their hand gets emptied out, we don't want to give them a free card. And pitching Bolt would do that, as well as probably being just incorrect aside from that. Instead, scratch everything I just said, because they just pitch away the surgical as a low value card in the matchup, which it is. Alright. Opponent does have a Lava Dart. Yeah, Bob is pretty bad in this matchup, and that's why, but hey, he drew us a fetch land. That's pretty good. You know, Bob was a nice little 2-for-1 there. They can also flash back their Lava Dart, but it's not very good beyond that. Thought Scour milling over, nothing that they actually want in the graveyard. But they do have a lot of spells this turn, so I guess we're going to see a Phoenix here. Hopefully only one. Looks like only one. And they still have Aria of Flame in hand, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, they're going to flash back Lava Dart and finish off Liliana. Yeah, that's pretty good. Alright, we do have Bolt for the Phoenix. Nothing else really going on. But we do have the guaranteed inevitability of Raging Ravine mana now that we drew Blackcleave Cliffs. It's just going to be a little slow, maybe. I guess we just Bolt the Phoenix here. We're just kind of in race mode. It never feels great, but it's often correct. Oh, Thing in the Ice. Okay. Kolagan's Command. So we can Bolt the thing, K-Command the thing, and kill it. And we can also buy back Bob, but I think I'd rather make them discard, because they're only on 2 lands anyway. So, you discard 2 to you. It's a little clunky, but it's still a 2-for-2, and it's still an answer where we really kind of need one. Alright, next turn we can begin getting in with the Raging Ravine. Opponent's on 2 cards with 2 lands on the field. So they kind of need to draw a lot, which is why it was nice to just make them discard anything there. Thought Scour. Sleight of Hand. Okay. Don't have a third spell. Don't have a third spell, please. No third spell. Beautiful. Tarmogoyf. So it's tempting to get in with the Raging Ravine because that's going to get it up out of bolt range for the rest of the game. But still probably just correct to play a 6/7 Goyf anyway. Like if one of their cards here is Bolt and they are priced into bolting a Ravine and they just are getting killed by the Goyf, I guess that's pretty much good for us. Serum Visions, 1 top, 1 bottom. Again, we want to fade their triple spell turn here, but it's not as scary now as it would have been last turn. Looks like they have it. They got the 3rd land. Must have the 3rd spell. Yep. Okay, triple cantrip turn for the OP. So they're going to get just one Phoenix back. It's not the end of the world. Could definitely be worse. But it's just kind of the good free value that they like to see. Because they've still got the resource advantage right now with those 2 cards in hand and setting up their next draw step or 2. Top, okay. A little scary. Also attacking. Liliana of the Veil. Think I'm supposed to play her and tick up. Just makes it way less likely that we die. This upcoming turn. Despite them going top, and we have lethal next turn with Raging Ravine. Also might force them, if they have a way to extend the game, to direct some damage at Liliana. I don't think edicting there was correct, because if they have like a really good turn, they're going to get Phoenixes back anyway, including the one we edict. So them having to spend 3 to flash back Faithless Looting is probably good news for us. If they had 1 out of hand, I might be worried. They pitch Thing and Serum Visions. Okay, 1 card in hand, they just scoop. Alright, nice. Our natural good matchup against Phoenix. At least that's the case for Rock. I don't know for Jund, I assume it's still fine. But the natural positivity of interaction like Inquisition and Tarmogoyf. And Liliana, the good core, showing up pretty big. So against Izzet Phoenix, with this particular list, they've got Lava Dart. We're probably cutting all 3 Bob. I might leave in 1 Thoughtseize if we had 3-3, but since we're on 4-2 split, maybe we just cut those 2. I don't know how good Renin 6 is. I don't even know how good Lightning Bolt is, really. Everything else in the deck seems okay. I don't know how good Pyromancer is. Like, seems kind of bad against Thing in the Ice. But I'm no expert, so let's see what we have to bring in. Cage, Spellbomb, Rakdos, Charm, I guess. It's kind of a worse version of some of this stuff, but... I don't even know if we want Anger of the Gods, because it's only good against Phoenix. It doesn't tag Thing, doesn't tag Drake, and Phoenixes have haste. So maybe it's wrong, but with all this graveyard hate, I'm maybe thinking no Anger. Could be totally wrong, though. I do like Surgical, obviously. Collective Brutality is not a card that's particularly great here, but I feel like we kind of have a lot of somewhat bad cards to bring out, but maybe I'm underrating some of this stuff. In any case, these 5 are for sure. Let's just cut all the Bobs, maybe 1 Thoughtseize, and like 15 minutes I'll be done. Cutting a Thoughtseize, maybe just cutting both. Do we just leave in, like, the Ren ping is pretty poor. The buyback land is a little whatever. I'm going to cut 1 Ren. We'll try to keep the board clear. I guess Anger is just good enough to bring in, even if it's awkward sometimes. So let's do that. We're going to bring in Brutality too. This turned into a mess. This might just be wrong. I'm gonna go like this, and maybe... Alright, whatever, we'll submit. I kind of had the feeling that maybe I should have stopped like 10 seconds ago. Like, stopped with a more conservative sideboard plan. But now we've got all kinds of stuff going on. I don't know what's right. I don't know what's right and wrong anymore. We've got Tarmogoyf, and we've got Kill Spell for Thing. We've got a couple pieces of Grave Hate. Looks like a keep. Liliana the Veil's a good draw. I'm going to play out a Nile Spellbomb here. Just going to get a Swamp because we respect our life total and the prospect of Blood Moon. And of course they could just Abrade this, which would be bad, but we do have more Grave Hate where that came from. Alright, no Abrade. Grafdigger's Cage, huh? Interesting. Think we might actually want to play that. Because Goyf is just going to die to Lightning Bolt right now. Unless we crack the Spellbomb in response, which we don't want to do. Alright. Maybe should have shocked in the Tomb here. Whatever. Now I'm kind of priced into fetching a non-basic because we obviously need red mana. So, let's get Stomping Ground. And play a Cage, I guess. We're slow rolling it a bit, but we now have the ability to Edict away a thing. So we've got the answers. Definitely got the answers. Thought Scour getting rid of Serum Visions and Narset, which is quite fine with me. Two cards that I'm not particularly sad to see go at this stage of the game. And of course nothing relevant for the graveyard at the moment. Looting, sure. Two Finale of Promise go by the wayside, okay. That's also fine with me. Those are a couple other 2-for-1s that are not really going to come back to bite us later. Potential 2-for-1s, I should say. Alright. Do we want to Spellbomb yet? The appeal to Spellbomb is it clears out the graveyard, then lets us slam Liliana, and we're not, like, losing our Spellbomb value. But I'm going to say no. Yeah, I'm just going to say no. We'll see what we draw here. Bloodbraid Elf. Okay. What if we just play Tarmogoyf this turn? Get our beats going. Hold up Spellbomb one more turn. And kind of force the opponent into doing something proactive here. Aria of Flame, sure. Gain 10. You got it. Alright, so the big problem with Spellbombing here for value is actually that we shrink our Goyf that way, but... Oh, also that I didn't leave black up. Man, this mana base is new. Sorry, guys. Sorry. My bad. Alright, we've got some good plays to make anyway, so Inquisition's a fine start. We're not Spellbombing this turn. We're probably just going to Inquisition, then Trophy. Make the Goyf huge. Alright, they do have a couple Phoenixes in hand and another Aria of Flame. Okay. I think we're just going to take Monomorphose here. And not care as much about the Aria given their extreme lack of instants and sorceries in the hand. That's what it counts, right? Yeah, okay. Okay. Sleight of Hand's a really good draw for the opponent. If I had known they were going to have that this turn, I might have just trophied the Aria. As it is, I guess we just let it resolve and then let them kind of let their turn develop as it will and then take it from there. You know, pick our spot to either trophy or maybe Spellbomb to finally try to hit our fourth land. Fiery Islet. Another Aria of Flame. You got it. I'll gain another 10. So their hand is Phoenix, Phoenix Bolt. I guess now's a fine time to spellbomb. Okay. There's our 4th land. I think I just like the Liliana here. Pitching a land, I guess. Whatever they do here, it will grow the Goyf. Get a card out of their hand. Now they can bolt the Lily and get the Arya value and all that stuff, but again, this trade is fine for us. Here comes a Phoenix, sure. And a tapped land. Attacking us, we're at 30. Yep. Alright, so I kind of just like Bloodbraid here, because we can just kill them if we hit the right thing. I don't know what's correct, but this is what I'm doing. Anger of the Gods. Sure, kill your Phoenix. Let's get that bolt out of your hand. We'll pitch Rakdos Charm. Okay, opponent's at 1. They can bolt some stuff and Arya some stuff, but it's not enough because the Goyf is coming in for the win. Holy moly, guys. I just 4-1 first time ever. First time ever with Jund. Sal, Malakola, my friend, your deck is great. Your deck is great. That was not the pilot because I am new. We can safely say it was not the pilot. We can safely say that it is Jund being really nice right now with a lot of the Horizons tech, and with green-black X decks in general being underrated as always in the meta. So we had some really feel-good moments here, my friends. We had Renin 6 really, really shining in one particular game where it's helping us curve out with a +1. It's pinging the opponent's weenies with a -1, just like too much value to be contained. We had Lightning Bolt showing the viability of the red inclusion here in a lot of windows being really, really nice. I understand that stating the obvious, but we're just going over everything. Raging Ravine was big game. It's very clunky. It's a very clunky land. Activating for 4 in a deck that curves out like this, we often could not have our cake and eat it too. Nevertheless, it's still a big appeal to playing Jund, right? Koagan's Command was definitely nice in some windows. It's, not a guaranteed inclusion anymore, not a 2 of anymore for most people, but we definitely saw its flexibility and utility here. Seasoned Pyromancer I ended up trimming more than maybe I expected to going in, and I don't know if that was correct, right? But it definitely seemed fine to trim away. So I'm no expert, but you guys will have to let us know in the comments. Is 3 too many? Maybe he's a little clunky in as a 3 of. Undoubtedly, what Sal said is true, though. Fixes the wrong half of the deck problem to some degree. Really, really nice card selection. We get some mileage out of putting things to the graveyard, obviously, and just an amazing top deck when you're Hellbent, which we admittedly did not see. Bloodbraid Elf was awesome. Bloodbraid Elf was really, really good. I understand that having a 4-drop warps the mana base a little bit, and it's appealing to lower the curve for a lot of reasons, including Dark Confidant, but Bloodbraid Elf was intense here. Really, really nice when we saw her. And from the sideboard, we didn't really win games on the back of our sideboard cards for the most part. We kind of won them with our core stuff, so the sideboard looks really good to me, really, really techy, like I said in the beginning, really diverse. Lots of one-ofs. That's how I like to play right now. And I guess admittedly, we were against a Phoenix deck and we just went Spellbomb into Cage, so that's some That's good for your sideboard tech, right? In any case, my friends, that was our donation league. Remember, if you are enjoying this content, you can sign up on Patreon. Link is in the description below. We have tier rewards for you as a reward for supporting me, and we also every single dollar you donate over your lifetime goes toward donation leagues just like this. The other thing you can do, my friends, to help this content grow is to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're very close to 1,000 subs. If you're not subbed, please take a moment and just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're going to get to the 4 digits. It's going to be great. Thank you once again to Mark Kitchell, our new High Inquisitor, to Burrito Champion, the first ever member of the brand new Unearthed tier, and also, of course, to Sal Malacola for making this donation league possible with his generous support, and Domenico Toscani for allowing me to borrow Renin 6 and Seasoned Pyromancer, without whom this league might not have gone anywhere near as well. So I look forward to hearing your feedback, my friends. Unfortunately, we ran into the Hogaak. We could have 5-0'd. We could have 5-0'd as a noob here, but, the Hogaak Vine is making Modern. There's always one deck that spoils it for the rest of us, and right now it's the Hog. So what can you do? Still a wonderful, wonderful league. It was a lot of fun, really cool change of pace, and as always, my friends, I look forward to hearing your thoughts. So thanks for tuning in, and I will talk to you soon. Hope you have a great day.